Good afternoon. Welcome to video number 1. Today we're going to talk about the question, should we get rid of self-checkouts? Interesting question. And a very short answer would be no. I don't think we should get rid of the self-checkout. I think we should add to self-checkout. I think people should have that option of being able to scan their purchases, pay for their purchases, and get out of the store within a minute and a half rather than waiting for 10 to 15 minutes to get, or more, depending on how long the line is, to get through a staffed checkout. And the process between the both is very much the same. You take your stuff out of your cart, you put it up on the counter. You take your stuff, you put it into a bag, and you put it back into your cart. And the only real difference between self-checkout and a staff checkout is with self-checkout you run the product barcode over the scanner. You still have to pay. The process of paying is still the same. You take money out, put it in. The machine, in some cases, it's credit, debit card or plastic card only, and that is still the same process. You tap, you insert, you put your PIN numbers in. Still the same process. The only difference between a staff checkout and a self-checkout is you take the product over the barcode. Not much different. And it's faster if you're in the self-checkout, if you know what you're doing. I don't even take stuff out of the cart. For the most part, when I do my shopping, everything gets put in the cart with the barcode up and accessible, so that when I get to the till, I just take that gun that they have for the heavy items, and I just scan each item. Bing, 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 bing. And depending on how much stuff it could, the average time for me to check out, depending on what I'm buying, but the average time is about 31 to 33 seconds. I've timed it. I wanted to see which was faster, staff or self. And it can take 3, 4, 5 minutes sometimes to get just a few items scanned through the staff checkout. Right? That's not counting the time in the lineup. That's just the time when I start putting stuff on the conveyor belt or the counter to the time that I leave. So considerably faster. And quite often when I'm in the lineup at the self-checkout and it's busy and there's people, I'll say to people, and people are being slow at the self-checkout, honestly, people, it's the easiest system ever. It doesn't take a whole lot of brain power to do a self-checkout. I'll say to the person, just count to 30 and walk towards the stand that I go to if it hasn't moved, because I'm leaving. And quite often, count to 30, start walking towards my till, I'm leaving, you can have it, and it's simple. The arguments that people have to get rid of self-checkouts is basically there's two common ones. One is it gets rid of jobs. And the second one is it encourages theft. So, first of all, let's talk about the getting rid of jobs. I don't believe self-checkouts get rid of jobs. Any place that I've ever been to, self-checkout, while it may eliminate a position, it doesn't eliminate the fact that there's other positions in that store that people can fill. So, most stores that have self-checkout are the big box stores. They're looking for people to put stuff on the shelves. They're looking for people to do the picking for online orders. So there's work available. If a person's losing their job because of self-checkouts coming in, there's another reason. And chances are they probably would have been losing that job anyway to give it to somebody else. So they're calling in sick too often. They're too slow. They're making too many errors. Right? It's an excuse to get rid of them. We've eliminated your position. You need to go. Or they're being offered another position and they're turning it down. So they're being said, we need a night stalker. Come in. I don't want to work nights. Well, then I guess you're out of a job. You have to make that decision. So I don't believe that people lose their jobs simply because self-checkout comes in. I believe it's an opportunity to be moved somewhere else. And that people have to stand at self-checkouts as a self-checkout host to deal with when the machine freezes up, coupon code errors. If a store like Walmart quite often allows you to pay with cash, so the person needs to go and transfer the order to cash and take you to the host table and get you your change, and things like that. So it doesn't eliminate jobs. It may mean being moved to a different position, or it means that the person isn't employable in that store and wasn't employable in that store and was probably on the way out anyway. And had self-checkout remained, they would have found themselves in human resources being eliminated for whatever reason, regardless of whether self-checkout come in or not. So, sorry about that. Turn that upside down. And the second one was it encourages theft. I don't believe it encourages theft. I believe theft has been happening in stores, and I believe what encourages theft is policies in place that say don't intervene in a theft. We'll let security, or just don't intervene. And that encourages people to say, I can get away with it. And if you can get away with it, that encourages theft. It's not that you have to, scanning yourself out doesn't encourage theft. And if you're stealing, you probably were stealing with staff checkouts anyway. And so, let's be honest. Theft is theft. You get caught stealing, you should be banned from the store. And it doesn't have anything to do with how the checkout process is. You were stealing before self-checkout, and you should have been caught, and you should be arrested, and you should be charged and convicted with theft under $5,000 for most goods. That's what you would be charged with in Canada. And banned from the store, face criminal conviction, possibly even jail time. That's the way it should go. So I don't believe that. I believe it's a weak argument. And I believe businesses should be stepping up to the needs and the wants of people in 2024 or 2025. And that is, they want to go in, get the product, check it out as fast as possible, get back in their car, go to the next store, go home, or wherever they're going. So self-checkout should be here to stay. I believe it will be here to stay. I believe people are going to accept it. And I believe more and more you're going to see stores going completely to self-checkout. And if you don't like self-checkout, then you're going to end up having to go to boutique stores that charge a lot more, and you should get more service from them. But if that's what you want, then that's where you should go. And somebody said, well, you'll eventually, the only place you'll be able to go and to not have self-checkout is corner store. Well, 7-Eleven has self-checkout more and more, and so that's just an argument that I'm not even going to discuss. You go to the gas station, it's self-checkout. You go to the bank, there's self-checkout. Most banking can be done online. So I'm waiting for the day when I can go into the store with my cell phone, scan items, take pictures of the barcode as I shop, and not even have to go to a checker counter when I leave. So should we get rid of self-checkout? Nope, we need to encourage more of it. That's my opinion. Thank you very much. Have yourself a great day. Take care.